So I say this was made by accident because when I started forging this, you can see that little drawing I have on the anvil is what I had planned to make, and it was a little utility knife, but somewhere in the process I just kind of wanted to change it up. So after I'm done forging this, I kind of explain more why I went in the direction I did, but you'll be able to see at some point where I switch up from forging a small little utility knife and kind of just gets bigger and turns into a French style chef knife. So things have not been going as planned. First, you can see I haven't used the press at all. It's kind of broken. The switch isn't working, so while I'm fixing that, everything had to be done by hand. And you could also see from the beginning, I planned to make a little utility knife, like real short, and kind of just in the process, I started making a smaller kind of French style chef knife. It's maybe about 7 inches long, maybe like 3 millimeters thick. So yeah, I'm gonna start making it into a chef knife instead. I'm gonna probably try some things different. I normally do a full flat grind all the way up, but because this one's gonna be smaller, it's gonna be more of like a workhorse horse kind of knife. I don't know, more like a do-it-all, I think, instead of just like fine slicing what you get from that full flat grind. So I'm gonna try a convex edge on it, and yeah. this is just another thing that didn't go as planned. I always like to leave some forge scale on the side. I think it looks good. It shows it's hand forged, but without the press, it wasn't perfectly flat. It had, I think, too much hammer mark variation. And so I know I said I wanted to make it kind of an all-purpose knife. My intention was to leave it a bit thicker, but what I'm doing here is thinning it out and grinding down all the forge scale. It ended up making the knife pretty thin. It's under 2 millimeters. So it's changing again. It's going now to more of a fine slicer. I'm still going to do the convex edge because it's going to support that thinner edge, but now it's going to be more of a laser fine slicer than my original intention of, do it all kind of knife, even though it wasn't even my original intention in the first place. It was supposed to be a utility knife. What I've got here is I ground the main bevels of this already, and when I did that I left the edge pretty thick, and I went back and ground a secondary bevel, not to a sharp edge but thinning out the edge to where I want it. It's about 0.2 of a millimeter behind the edge, and I took the platen off and I'm going to just use the slack in it to blend the two bevels, so that's just a convex curve over it, and that should strengthen the edge, give better food release because it's not just a flat surface. This is a really thin knife. It's less than 2 millimeters thick, so I think that convex edge is going to help it with the strength and food release. So the test I was just doing, I've been trying to do a hair whittling test because I've seen that's just a good sharpness test to show. But what I do for my knives is I sharpen it and leave a toothy edge, because a toothy edge actually helps bite into food. Like, think of a tomato. The skin, if it's a really smooth, polished edge, it's going to be more inclined to slip off of it, where a toothy edge is going to bite into the skin and cut more. And that kind of applies to whatever you're cutting. But as you can see, I might not know how to do the hair whittling test. I might be able to do it, but every time the hair touches the edge, it kind of just pops it. So I'm either doing it wrong or my knives are just hair popping sharp. But I'm gonna do another sharpness test, which is, this is just a paper towel not ripped in half, but it's one ply of a paper towel, so it's really thin. I think this should be a better test than paper. And it's cutting it pretty well. I don't know what the expectation should be, but I think it's pretty good.